This is an exciting video because yesterday I picked up the new Makeup by Mario Surrealskin foundation. I got to wear it all day, and now I want to sit down with you all, give you my first impression, my initial thoughts, show you how it applies and how I wore it. So let's get right into it. Now, initially my thoughts were I was going to sit down, I was going to try it on for the first time with you all, but then I thought it'd be just more informative if I had a chance to wear it for an entire day and like really collect my thoughts before I present them to you. So that's exactly what we're doing. So just like yesterday, I kept my skincare very basic, very minimal. This is something that I do when I'm trying a new foundation. I want to make sure that it has a chance to really show its true colors as far as like how it's going to wear, what it's going to look like, how it's going to dry down, all those things. So when I'm doing that, when I'm testing out new products in general, especially foundations, I keep my skincare very, very basic just for the day, just to try it out. So with that said, I started with a basic hyaluronic acid serum. This is from Peach and Lily. It's the Glass Skin Water Gel Moisturizer. So 2 pumps of this on clean skin. So this was my first step, just to get some nice hydration. This is thin, it's lightweight, it absorbs quick into your skin. It's not going to pill under makeup, or it's not going to pill with when you layer other products on top of it. So of course this is going to be ideal for any kind of foundation. So just applying those 2 pumps all over, bringing it down my neck. So like I said, this absorbs really quickly, so I can go in immediately with my moisturizer to lock that in and to be my finishing step as my skin prep. So for that, I'm gonna use my tried and true Naturium multi-peptide moisturizer. This is like my go-to. I talk about this, it's in my makeup kit, always stocked in there. It works on every skin type. I'm gonna do 2 pumps to start. I might add a little more to my neck, depending. But this is just an amazing moisturizer underneath makeup. It does not disrupt it in any way. It does not make it cling in a strange way. It doesn't add a heavy layer of too much moisture where you end up looking too shiny throughout the day. So if you're oily, this is still a nice moisturizer that you can use to really balance your skin and get it hydrated before you put your foundation on. Now, I did not use a primer yesterday because you all know that I'm not the biggest primer person personally. If you feel like it's necessary, add a primer in, of course. But for me, like I said, I want to keep it really basic, really bare bones, so I know exactly how that foundation is going to lay and perform throughout the day. Now, with that said, this might be an unpopular opinion. I do tend to skip an SPF if I am trying a new formula of foundation out for the first time. I do believe personally that most SPF products, in some way, shape, or form, they do end up altering the overall finish or the appearance most of the time. And when you're doing a new foundation, when you're really testing it out and you want to see exactly what it looks like to see if you like it and you want to keep it, maybe skip the SPF just for a few hours or just for the day. I wore a hat yesterday, so I didn't feel like I was endangering my skin in any way. So with that said, my skin is prepped. We are ready to put on the Surreal Skin foundation. I ended up with the shade 120. The shade range was okay. I felt like there could maybe be a couple more shades, but I feel like I was really lucky to find 120 in stock, because to me, just based on the swatches and what it looked like in store at Sephora, like when I swatched it on my hand, it looked like it was going to be a perfect color match. And like I said, I wore this yesterday and I'm really happy with the shade match that I chose. And I feel like it's a really neutral tone. One thing I want to point out, and I don't know if you can see this on camera, we'll try to zoom in, but you can see little reflective, shimmery particles in the foundation. Now, one thing I'll point out as we go is it's not noticeable on when you're actually wearing it, but in the bottle, it's very noticeable, but don't let that scare you. If anything, it's just really pretty. Definitely reminds me of the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury, but this has a lot more coverage, I can tell you right now. So I'm going to pump out just a little bit on my painter's palette. So I'm going to start with this amount, and I should have known from yesterday, I need half of this. It actually, a little bit goes a long way. That's one of my initial thoughts with this foundation. And let's give this the ultimate try. I'm going to try it out with one of my favorite foundation brushes. It's a BK Beauty 106. I'm going to buff a little bit into my brush. So I'm going to apply this to the center of my face and then blend it out. Okay, and as you can see, I already applied way too much. So I'm going to pop it over to this side of my cheek. This foundation is supposed to be a medium coverage, and it definitely is a true medium. And one thing they do say is you can build it up to be a full coverage. I did find that you can definitely build it up, especially in the areas where I need more coverage. I was building up yesterday around my nose where I have more redness. I even built it up under my eyes a tad. And that is the case with most foundations. Most foundations are buildable. It just depends on how you're, the technique they're using to blend it on and apply it. So, for example, you want more coverage, you're going to stipple it on. You're going to press it into your skin. If you want to blend it out to be a little more natural, you would work in large buffing and circular motions. But yes, I do feel like this is a medium coverage. So if you're looking for a medium coverage, this is definitely a great option. Now, you know, those reflecting little particles that are in the foundation, they are visible in the bottle, those little like shimmery particles. You don't notice them actually on your skin. Like you don't notice them sitting on top of your skin. But what that does do is it gives your overall complexion, it gives a reflective quality. So it's going to reflect light, which overall is just going to give you like that beautiful, like fresh and glowy look to your skin. So I think it's a win that those are in there. Like I said, don't be deterred or turned off that those are there. Don't think it's going to look like it's glitter on your skin. It's not that at all. So just applying this all over, I do feel like it blends out incredibly easy. Now, one of the thoughts that I had initially when I was applying it is I thought it was going to be more of like a liquid formula. To me, this feels like more of has like a stickiness to it and a tackiness, almost like a BB cream or a CC cream does. It has like that kind of texture to it and that kind of grip. So if you like that kind of quality in a foundation or in like, you know, a face product, then you'll love this. If you don't like that kind of feeling, that might be an issue for you, but it does grip onto the skin very, very quickly. Even, you know, if you're someone who uses primer, I don't feel like you really need a primer with this because it does have that stickiness to it, which means it's just gonna stick to your skin right away. It's got like that tacky, like glue-like feeling where it just grips onto your skin really, really quickly. Well, actually, I ended up using that whole pump that I thought I wasn't gonna use, but that's one entire layer evenly throughout. And I really do feel like I got a great color match with the 120. I'm always trying to match the rest of my body, and my face is just at least 3 shades lighter than the rest of my body. So this is a little bit deeper, and it gives me that overall evenness and that cohesiveness that I'm looking for without looking too drastically obvious where I have to like really blend it down my neck. So color-wise, perfect. This has a little more of like a warm olive undertone, which suits my skin really well. So this is one coat of the foundation all over. This definitely has a skin-like finish to it. It feels really nice on my skin. It doesn't feel heavy. I don't feel like I have like a mask of foundation that's covering up my complexion. If anything, it just feels like my complexion definitely enhanced and definitely very glowy. Like has like a beautiful, beautiful glow to it. Now, I will say if you have oily skin, I don't think this is going to be your most favorite foundation. Let's talk about the price. The price is only $42, and I say only because I think that's personally a really fair price for a good, solid foundation formula. Most of the foundations that are on the market now or that have come out recently are at least $48 and way above. Like I'm used to buying foundations that are $68, like Armani. So this to me is a great deal. I think you get a lot of product for that amount of money. I love the bottle. I think it's nice and sleek. It's compact. You can throw it in your makeup bag. If you're a makeup artist, it's not going to take up a crazy amount of room. Now, this does have a moisture grip technology in it that is supposed to hydrate your skin. I definitely feel that on my skin. I feel like I have an extra amount of moisture once I apply this to my skin. Now, with that said, what I want to talk about now is how it wore yesterday and what my finishing thoughts were. Now, I put this on pretty early in the day and I got to wear it all day long. I even wore this to a Pilates class. So I really got a good wear test in. And my finishing thoughts at the end of the night, even though I powdered the T-zone of my skin, all the areas of my face that I did not powder were left very tacky. So this feeling that you're gonna have initially when you put this foundation on, it's like a feeling of like, it's tacky. Like you can feel it. It's got like a stickiness to it. Now that's fine, but I don't think that's gonna be for everyone. I really do lean towards like the very oily side, especially growing up, I had very, very oily skin. So for someone like me who has combination oily skin or normal oily skin or just oily skin in general, I don't think that you're going to love the feeling of this foundation. Now the areas that I did powder, which was just the T-zone yesterday, those were fine. There's definitely a lot of shine coming through those areas, even with the powder as the day went on. And just overall, I didn't love the feeling that it left on my skin. I don't like that sticky feeling at all. It almost feels like a sticky sunscreen. Now, with that said, if you're someone who has more dry skin or combination dry skin or mature skin, I think this is going to be such a win as far as formula goes. I think you're going to love this formula, and I think that you'll love the way it feels. Like I said, it does feel really, really hydrating and moisturizing on your skin. almost feels like you have a night cream on, to be honest. That's what it feels like to me. So if you do have oily skin or combination oily skin, you might want to incorporate a good mattifying primer to go on beforehand. That might help you out with the overall finish of it and that feeling. And then of course, don't forget to powder it down, at least with like a nice thin layer just to start. But I do feel like you're gonna more than likely have to touch up throughout the day as far as like with a powder just to reduce some of the shine and that tacky feeling. Now to compare it to a couple other formulas that are on the market, the ones that pop into my head that this reminds me of the most are Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation and also the It Cosmetics CC creams. That kind of feeling, that almost like a little bit of a tackiness and very hydrating, very moisturizing, that kind of feeling. And also the overall finish and the appearance that it leaves on your skin and your complexion. This is very, very similar. So if you like either of those, you're gonna love this formula and you're gonna love the way it looks and feels on your skin. Now, let's say you're someone who's looking for more of a satin finish or a semi-matte finish or a matte finish foundation. I don't think you're gonna love the way this looks or sits on your skin. So just an FYI, it's just my thoughts. Now I'm gonna finish up my makeup. I'm gonna add some concealer, a little bit of powder in my T-zone, just like I did yesterday. That's exactly how I wore it. And I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just finished the rest of my makeup. I added the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer under my eyes. And then I set it with the Huda Beauty Loose Powder in Sugar Cookie. This is a totally translucent powder, so it didn't alter the color or the appearance of my foundation at all. I just did a light coat under my eyes and of course in my T-zone where I get the most oily, just so I can really, lock that area into place, just like I did yesterday. So this is the finished makeup look using the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. So those were my initial thoughts on the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. Of course, I'll continue to use this in my day-to-day life on Instagram and YouTube. Let me know in the comments what you think of this foundation. If you've tried it, I'm so curious to hear how you like it. And if you like Makeup by Mario, make sure you watch this full face using all Makeup by Mario right here, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.